Hello everyone, it's Catherine bringing you Toriana's daily devotion, and I'm going to start with a bit of a testimony because I want to honor a few people. If I think back this time in October, about 3 years ago, or it might even be 4 years ago, Ezekiel got really sick and we thought it was a stomach bug, and it just progressed to something that was really bad. And I can remember rocking up at Dr. Milan's door at 8, just saying, I don't know if I'm doing it right. I don't know. I'm not helping Ezekiel. I think this is serious. And he took it seriously, and he said, no, I'm admitting Ezekiel to hospital, Humansdorp Hospital. And they monitored him there. I was with him. And then Rob came and took turns with me. And then I came home to be with Gabriel while he was with Ezekiel. And Dr. Milan continued to monitor him through the night, and made a decision at about 9 or 10 p.m. that Ezekiel needs to be transferred to another hospital in Port Elizabeth, where various other teams of doctors he was talking to were going to take over. The timing and of how God worked in all of this was incredible. Because if we'd waited or I'd left it, I don't think we would have Ezekiel with us today, and even Gabriel, because this doctor, all the doctors acted quickly and suspected that Ezekiel possibly had salmonella, and they did all the blood tests on arrival, but started medicine and treatments immediately. The doctor, a children's doctor, she then contacted me the next morning. I was with Gabriel and said, how is Gabriel? And he was starting, and she said, get him in a car, get him here quickly. So they put a whole room aside for our family that was isolated, and both of them started extensive treatments. They were on drips and machines, and Ezekiel could hardly move. It was a very scary time. And it was in that time, I know lots of people were praying for us. Our SATS, South African Theological Seminary lecturers and staff were praying for us. It was incredible to have their support. But there was also another person that really touched our hearts, and I really want to share a testimony about him to honor him. And that is Fani Vermaak, Mr. Fani Vermaak, the school principal of our boys' school, Fairwell School. Do you know he was messaging us through each day? He was prepared to come to the hospital with anything, whether it was clothes or non-hospital food, or he was just incredible the way he supported us as a family through that time. And I know as a school he communicated to the staff and to the students what was happening to Ezekiel and Gabriel, and Fairwell School is their family, their school, and all the kids got together and prayed in their assemblies. And yeah, I was just totally moved by how Mr. Vermaak led his school, how his staff, how they worked together as a family. And I know there's been many families that have also been impacted by Mr. Vermaak and how he stood with them through difficult times. And I admire him a lot, and I know has great respect amongst the staff and the students when he's not there. Even Gabriel came home and said, Mr. Vermaak wasn't there today. It's so nice when he leads assemblies, and the students look up to him, the teachers respect him, and certainly we as parents have valued his support, not only through this but through many different seasons of our boys' lives. So in honoring Mr. Vermaak, I just also wanted to continue in the reading that we're doing in Acts 9 verse 32, and it's in context with what we've been through. So Acts 9 verse 32 to 43, where it says, as Peter traveled about the country, he went to visit the Lord's people who lived in Lydda. There he found a man named Ananias, who was paralyzed and had been bedridden for 8 years. Ananias, Peter said to him, Jesus Christ heals you. Get up and roll up your mat. Immediately Ananias got up. All those who lived in Lydia and Sharon saw him and turned to the Lord. In Joppa there was a disciple named Tabitha. In Greek her name is Dorcas. She was always doing good and helping the poor. About that time she became sick and died. and her body was washed and placed in an upstairs room. Lydda was near Joppa, so when the disciples heard that Peter was in Lydda, they sent 2 men to him and urged him, "Please come at once." Peter went with them, and when he arrived, he was taken upstairs to the room. All the widows stood around him, crying and showing him the robes and the clothing that Dorcas had made while she was still with them. Peter sent them all out of the room. Then he got down on his knees and he prayed. Turning toward the dead woman, he said, "Tabitha, get up." She opened her eyes, and seeing Peter, she sat up. He took her by the hand and helped her to her feet. Then he called for the believers, especially the widows, and presented her to them alive. This became known all over Joppa, and many people believed in the Lord. Peter stayed in Joppa for some time with a tanner named Simon. So these Bible stories, we maybe are not praying to raise someone from the dead, but I can tell you Ezekiel and Gabriel almost lost their lives, and I know that so many people were on their knees praying, and I know that our boys were healed and are with us today through so many prayers and support of family, Sat's family, our own family, the Pharaoh's family, and I think it encourages us today that when you know if someone is sick, support them as we were supported. WhatsApp messages, prayers, encourage them, stand with them. And it is the power of prayer that carries us through. It is the power of prayer that heals. And I was so encouraged through our experience. And both Ezekiel are healthy and happy and back at Pharaoh's school and happy to be there. So I hope this story encourages you to be a witness and encouragement and prayer warrior to somebody in your life or in your community. God bless you.